Sora, a student in Onmioji, starts a live stream visibly nervous. He says he will explore the lower levels of the Harajuku Dungeon, which shocks the viewers. Despite technical errors and sarcastic comments, he tries to keep up the enthusiasm, unaware of the real danger he is about to face. Sora moves through the dungeon, excited to have 5 viewers on the live. Confident, he declares he will defeat any monster using his Onmioji techniques. Soon after, he encounters a monstrous creature and prepares to face it, drawing the audience's attention to watch his performance. Cheerful and smiling, Sora activates a powerful Onmioji technique. A bright magic circle appears before him, casting a spell straight at the monster. The creature is hit directly, exploding into pieces before the intense magic. After defeating the monster, Sora explains excitedly that Onmioji techniques are not ordinary magic, but the use of cursed energy inside the body. Despite his confident explanation, it's clear his technique was improvised. Meanwhile, viewers react with surprise and suspicion. The view count starts to drop, leaving Sora worried but determined to keep the audience. Alone on the stream, Sora tries to interact with the few remaining viewers, asking for suggestions about techniques or monsters. But silence is total. Desperate to maintain interest, he starts having absurd thoughts, even considering taking off his clothes to entertain. Moments later, the viewer count falls to 0, leaving him in complete panic. Discouraged after losing all viewers, Sora decides to return, lamenting the long walk back from the lower levels. On the way, he decides to watch another Dungeon Explorer's stream. Seeing Ogami Rika's broadcast with 50,000 live viewers, he feels impressed and demotivated, realizing the huge difference between them. Sora watches Rika's live, a high school girl like him, but with thousands of excited and interactive viewers. She is charismatic, confident, and receives many compliments. Frustrated, Sora wonders what the big difference is between them, even questioning if it's something superficial, like breast size. The comparison makes him even more discouraged. Determined to improve his body, Sora begins doing push-ups right there, thinking bigger muscles would make him more popular. While he struggles, an experienced-looking adventurer watches him oddly, confused by the scene. Embarrassed, Sora realizes how ridiculous he looks and imagines others must think he's some kind of bizarre monster. The adventurer confronts Sora upon meeting him in the lower levels, asking if he's lost. Sora explains he was doing a live stream using Onmioji techniques, but admits he lost all viewers. The man, skeptical, sees it as a forced attempt to stand out and says the boy is only alive by pure luck. Sora comments he didn't feel much difference between the dungeon levels, but the adventurer warns him monsters in the lower levels are much stronger. He explains that higher-class creatures have started appearing more frequently, and irregular events have been happening in that area. Without realizing, Sora was in an extremely dangerous zone. After a sudden monster explosion, the adventurer is alarmed. He has never seen anything like it before. Realizing the danger, he grabs Sora and says they must leave immediately. He promises to protect the boy, who barely understands the gravity of the situation. On the way out, signs warn that this dungeon zone is classified as highly dangerous, confirming how risky it was for Sora to be there. Sora and the adventurer finally reach the dungeon entrance safely. Relieved, Sora thanks him for the rescue and tries to ask the man's name. However, the adventurer politely refuses, explaining he has a rule. He doesn't exchange names with other adventurers until they have met at least 3 times. Many die before that. As they part ways, the adventurer is called by an employee, revealing his name, Katsu. Sora overhears unintentionally and is surprised. Later at home, he researches and discovers Katsu is a famous adventurer known for fighting monsters in the most dangerous parts of dungeons. Sora feels frustrated because he tries to do the same, but doesn't understand why the difference between them is so big. Sora reflects alone, trying to understand why he cares so much about viewer numbers. He reveals he was reincarnated as an Onmioji and has always felt out of place, like he didn't belong to this world. The feeling of being incomplete haunts him, as if something important was forgotten. One night, while watching a meteor shower, Sora recovers memories of another life. He remembers being an Onmioji, someone who read the stars and manipulated cursed energy. In his past life, he sealed a powerful yokai but was mortally wounded. Using his last strength, he cast a reincarnation spell on himself, giving rise to his new life. Sora thinks about his situation and realizes that, although there are dungeons and monsters in the current world, he has never seen another Onmioji like him. When asking peers if they know what an Onmioji is, he is shocked by their answers. Many think they are just charlatans or fake talisman sellers. This frustrates him, as his true identity is met with disbelief and mockery. Sora discovers that despite the changes, he is in the same world where he lived before, 1,000 years in the future. He notices that over time, the real importance of Onmioji was forgotten. They used to be respected heroes, admired by all, even children dreaming of careers. Proud of his former profession, he decides not to accept this oblivion and prepares to act. Determined, Sora declares his new goal, to become a famous dungeon exploration streamer and restore the honor of Onmioji. Even with only 2 viewers, he starts another energetic broadcast, mangacaps, ready to show his techniques. When encountering a monster, he acts confidently, but the audience reacts skeptically, thinking it's all fake visual effects. Once again, Sora sees his audience drop to a single viewer and falls into despair, even considering taking off his clothes to get attention. Without success, he decides to end the stream discouraged. As he prepares to leave, a distant scream makes him stop. Something still waits inside the dungeon. While the camera keeps recording, the live chat fills with desperation. Viewers beg Rika to run away, warning of something abnormal and extremely dangerous and irregular. On the ground, injured and scared, Rika is vulnerable, facing imminent danger, unable to react. Rika is before a colossal monster with a grotesque and threatening appearance. She is injured, with a twisted ankle, knowing she cannot dodge the next attack. Afraid and trapped, her mind panics as she stares at the creature slowly approaching, ready to strike. Convinced she will die, Rika begins to remember her family and her pet Maran accepting the end. However, Sora's voice interrupts her. He suddenly appears, surprised by the monster's size and worried about her. Without hesitation, he asks if she's okay, showing he came running after hearing the scream. Sora immediately recognizes they face a higher-class monster and is shocked by its size, completely blocking the path. Relieved that Rika is alive, he tries to stay calm. Rika watches confused and scared, thinking it's impossible for a solo adventurer to face something so powerful. As the monster advances furiously, Sora takes responsibility for the situation. He knows he ran there without thinking, and if anything happened to Rika, it would be his fault. With a serious and determined expression, he takes position, ready to face the creature with his Onmioji techniques. When the monster prepares to attack, it suddenly shifts focus. Distracted by something unexpected, Rika, holding a package of dog treats, catches the creature's attention. Surprisingly, the treats work, making the monster stop. Amazed by the result, she is impressed to see something so simple divert the beast's attention. With tears in her eyes, Rika shouts at Sora to run while he still can. Determined to distract the monster, she faces danger alone. The enraged creature roars loudly and begins advancing toward her, fully focused on her. The tension rises as the confrontation seems inevitable. Sora activates his second technique with a precise and agile movement, creating thin threads of water that cut through the air with incredible speed. His expression is serious, reflecting confidence in his skill as he prepares the final strike. The technique, called Threads of Aquatic Life, shows the true power of his elemental control. With a single precise movement, Sora's water threads slice the air and pierce the monster's body. Instantly, the creature is decapitated, and its huge silhouette collapses. Sora stands firm, the clean and devastating blow ending the threat perfectly. The monster's body falls to the ground, defeated. Rika watches silently, her eyes wide at what she just witnessed. Sora also remains quiet, staring straight ahead, covered in blood splatters, with a serious and determined look. Both are still processing the impact of the moment. Rika is shocked to realize the monster was defeated with a single blow. Eyes wide and sweating, she can hardly believe what she saw. Sora is also surprised upon recognizing her, exclaiming her name with the same stunned expression. Both are incredulous at the unexpected outcome. Relieved and smiling, Rika thanks everyone and reassures viewers that she is fine. She ends the stream, apologizing for the scare, and promises to return when calmer. The live, which gathered over 150,000 viewers, ends with the message, "The broadcast has ended." Rika's accidental stream caused a huge online stir. Comments of surprise and theories began to appear, all trying to figure out who the mysterious adventurer was who defeated the monster so easily. Many ask for verification, while others already consider the feat legitimate. In the end, a link to Sora's live, the Onmioji Dungeon clearing livestream, starts circulating, indicating he is about to gain the attention he long sought. The internet explodes with comments about Sora's appearance in Rika's stream. Forums and social media discuss his feat, calling him extremely strong and praising his Onmioji techniques. He quickly rises in blog rankings and views. Meanwhile, an unknown girl watches everything on her phone, determined not to let him escape this time, suggesting Sora caught someone important's attention. The girl watching the stream blushes, recalling the part where Sora, desperate, threatened to take off his clothes. Even embarrassed, she keeps watching. Trying to calm down, she decides to check the news, but is surprised to see Sora trending in the top topics worldwide under the title Onmioji Sora. The girl is shocked to see that Sora is in first place on social media. She checks the comments and views on her own videos, which previously barely had engagement, and realizes they are now booming with tens of thousands of hits. Confused and impressed, she tries to understand how everything happened so suddenly. The girl watches the end of Rika's live and is upset by the sudden ending. Frustrated, she wonders if Rika and Sora even exchanged contacts. She expected a scene of thanks or a promise to meet again. Agitated and curious, she decides she needs to find out what happened. She's so anxious she knows she won't be able to sleep without answers. The next morning, the girl finds Sora at school and casually comments on how calm he seems that day. Despite his calm expression, her attentive look reveals she's trying to learn more about him and maybe confirm if the boy before her is really the same Onmioji who saved the previous night. Sora, panicked, asks Kanzaki for help when he notices his phone won't stop vibrating since the night before. Thinking it might be a virus, he despairs. Calmly, Kanzaki checks the device and reveals it's just a flood of notifications, new subscribers, and comments. Sora feels relieved, while she comments on how unusual he is, implying she's already watching him more closely. Kanzaki simply informs him that Sora has gone viral, leaving him completely confused, not understanding the gravity or impact of the situation. His blank stare shows he hasn't yet absorbed what it means to be the new center of attention on the internet. Sora starts a new live stream with a peculiar greeting, accidentally showing only his chin on camera. Despite this, the audience reacts in a fun and positive way, with many comments praising the originality of the stream and mentioning they came by recommendation. He apologizes but is clearly surprised by the warm reception, marking a promising start for his new streamer phase. Sora is shocked to see more than 30,000 people watching his live at the same time. Although stumbling over words and even messing up his own name, he's bombarded with compliments in the comments, calling him cute and funny. Surprised by the support even after the slip, he begins to realize the real impact of going viral. Sora starts his new broadcast, thanking the support and talking about Ogami Rika. He explains that after the previous live ended, he safely took Rika to the dungeon entrance, where her agency staff were already waiting. With that, he handed her over to their care, ending his part in the situation. Sora admits that after handing Rika over to her agency staff, he doesn't know what happened to her. Still, he shares a detail from when he helped her. During the way back, nervous, the only question he managed to ask was whether she preferred cats or dogs. Rika answered that she was a dog person. Sora, enchanted, keeps to himself the memory of her scent when she leaned on his shoulder. Rika watches Sora's stream smiling, remembering when he asked if she preferred cats or dogs. Now understanding the reason behind the question, she laughs quietly. Though initially wanting only to thank him, she admits shyly to herself that she was waiting for the stream because she thought Sora was very cute. Rika tries to thank Sora through the chat, but her message gets lost amid the huge flood of comments. Worried about going unnoticed, she decides to send a donation with a comment. However, she begins to panic over how much money to send, worried that if it's too little, she'll be called stingy. But if too much, they'll say she's a clueless rich girl. Rika decides that 5,000 yen would be the ideal amount to thank Sora for saving her life, neither too cheap nor excessive. But when trying to send the donation, a notification appears. Sora's channel does not accept donations. All her effort and mental dilemma were in vain. Even frustrated at not being able to donate, Rika leaves a comment. Thinking it got lost among so many others, she lies down discouraged, until Sora, during the live, notices and excitedly announces, "Ogami Rika just commented!" Rika gets up surprised and embarrassed, while viewers praise Sora for noticing. Rika is touched to realize that, despite so many comments, Sora noticed hers. She thanks him again, and says she intends to repay officially through the agency. Sora brushes it off, saying it's not necessary. Then he asks about her leg. Rika replies excitedly that it's already fine, and she'll stream again next week. Sora starts another lively stream, saying he will explore the Harajuku Dungeon using his Onmioji techniques. Upon facing monsters, he quickly acts, activating magic circles and attacking confidently, streaming everything live. Sora watches the live comments explode with praise. The audience is impressed with his strength, calling him incredible, powerful, and even feeling sorry for the monsters. Sora, blushing and surprised, notices no one called him a cheater, even defeating enemies easily. He recognizes this as the true power of going viral. Sora begins explaining to his audience the difference between common magic and Onmioji techniques. He says magic depends on magical artifacts found in dungeons and requires chanting spells to gather mana from the air and then release it. Also, the user needs natural talent to manipulate this kind of energy. Sora continues explaining that, unlike magic, Onmioji techniques need no tools or incantations. They manipulate cursed energy directly inside the user's body, shaping it into a technique and releasing it from some body part. He proudly states, this makes everything simpler, at least from his point of view. Sora encounters a stone wall that seems a dead end. Liv comments think he's trapped, but he confidently disagrees. Observing the place, he says he can still continue, and decides to climb, saying, Let's go up. Viewers are shocked realizing it's a cliff. Sora uses the technique Life's Water String to create a magical water rope and starts climbing the cliff calmly, even streaming live. Comments are divided between admiration and nervousness. He casually says that if the rock where the rope is tied falls, it's the end, leaving everyone tense at his exaggerated calmness in the face of danger. Sora reaches the top safely, but the new path is almost completely dark. He continues forward using only his phone flashlight while commenting to viewers. Suddenly, he is startled by stepping on something strange on the ground. Tension rises with the sound of something wet spreading ahead. As Sora walks, viewers notice a huge monster on the cave ceiling, right above him. However, the camera does not capture the creature, causing confusion in the chat. Sora tries adjusting the angle to show the enemy, but fails. The monster remains out of view, crawling dangerously close. The monster begins to move, but Sora can't adjust the camera properly. Viewers say they can't see anything, and tension increases. Amid the confusion, Sora is forced to act quickly and casts a powerful technique, ordering everyone to stay still as he fires the spell directly at the unseen creature. Sora hits the monster with a single blow once again. He panics, thinking he overdid it, apologizing repeatedly. Even without knowing exactly what the creature was, he shows the defeated body to the camera. Viewers react with surprise. Some ask to avoid close-ups, but others praise the image. Even after defeating the monster, Sora feels the air remains strange and heavy. He notices something on the ground and finds a grotesque object with a dark aura. Without hesitation, he identifies it, a cursed item. Sora observes the cursed item with curiosity and suspects the previous monster was guarding it. Despite the bizarre appearance, he comments excitedly about working with cursed items, saying this is also part of an Onmioji's role. In comments, the audience reacts surprised, questioning if it really is a cursed item. During the live, Sora confirms the cursed item emits a powerful flame wave, being rare and extremely dangerous. He reveals the item has enough cursed energy to destroy even an entire mountain. In comments, viewers are shocked by the item's level, speculating that, if true, it is a high-class cursed item. Sora then decides to act cautiously because of the risk. Sora confidently declares he will drain the cursed energy from the item, while a comment highlights that if it's really a high-level cursed item, it could be worth hundreds of millions. The scene shows Sora beginning the process with a magic seal, excited and determined, even facing such a dangerous object. Satisfied, Sora comments he managed to reduce its cursed energy by about 98%. However, reading a comment saying the item could sell for hundreds of millions, he freezes in shock, realizing the absurd value of what he almost wasted. Relieved for draining the cursed energy, Sora jokes that now the item emits a warm breeze and he will use it as a hairdryer. Meanwhile, the stream reaches over 300,000 viewers, marking the start of the legend that would go viral on the internet. Rika watches the stream and praises Sora, saying he is strong, can defeat enemies with a single blow, and is naturally charming and cute. As social media echoes the live's success, she realizes that streaming alongside him might increase her own popularity as a streamer even more. Sora arrives at school with a completely blank look. A classmate greets him normally but notices his expressionless face and comments on it. Internally, he complains that morning greetings are always too straightforward. Sora happily celebrates the success of his live, saying many people watched and it was a hit. Then, he confesses sadly that he accidentally destroyed a rare cursed item worth billions because he didn't know its value. Seeing him with that repentant and cute face, the girl beside him thinks desperately that if he keeps making that expression, she'll end up falling even more for him. Sora comments that he found other powerful cursed items, but all were completely destroyed. Back in the classroom, the girl reflects that although these items are worth a lot and are sold by adventurers, they are extremely dangerous. She agrees that there is no guarantee buyers will use them safely, so she thinks Sora's decision to destroy them was right. Emotional from Kanzaki's support, Sora promises with tears in his eyes that he will destroy any dangerous cursed item he finds. Kanzaki agrees the decision is right and reassures him. Then, Sora and the girl begin seriously thinking about what other types of cursed items might exist out there. The cursed items shown, despite originally being very dangerous, were purified and gained trivial functions. Cursed flower. Before it released a deadly toxin at the cost of the user's life. Now it gives off an insect-repelling perfume when someone says, please. Cursed stone. Turned anyone who touched it to stone. After purification, it became a magnetic necklace that improves circulation and relieves shoulder tension. Ice item. Previously could freeze an entire city. Now it's used to warm tea to the perfect temperature when added to the drink. This change in functions shows the effect of the cursed energy drainage done by Sora. This page shows Sora and Rika discussing another cursed item that used to show a horrible future and break the user's mind. Now, purified, it only predicts events 3 seconds ahead and causes a slight chill. Kanzaki jokes that if they tried to sell this in a thrift shop, they'd probably reject it without the box and instructions. The tone is comical, contrasting with the item's scary past. On this page, Rika seriously asks to borrow the high-level cursed item. She seems determined, placing her hand on her chest as she makes the request. Sora, with a simple and carefree expression, promptly agrees, promising not to misuse it. Sora is confused for being scolded right after agreeing to lend the item. He tries to justify that the item no longer has enough cursed energy to be dangerous, and trusts Kanzaki won't use it for anything bad. Meanwhile, Rika seriously confirms she will pick up the item after school, mentioning she will be home alone. Sora's last reaction suggests he was nervous or surprised by this information. Rika, a little embarrassed, comments she understood what Sora meant earlier. Since her mother is away, she offers tea at the ideal temperature and a special snack. When Sora asks if it's matcha pudding, Rika replies it's actually soy tofu. Sora insists Rika eat the sweet, but she says Sora should eat it. Since there's only one piece, Sora happily accepts. While tasting, he comments that the flavor is simple but addictive, bringing a nostalgic feeling. Rika, surprised, asks if he really likes it that much. Sora then reveals he used to eat it with someone who always looked at him with tired eyes. Sora carelessly throws the cursed item onto the table, which irritates Rika. Then he shows her his phone, saying he received an interesting offer. The message was from an entertainment agency called Poover, which wanted to hire him as an affiliated streamer. Rika looks worried and suspects it might be some kind of scam. Rika explains the offer is not a scam. Although the amount seems high, it is real. She reveals that Poover is the main streamer agency in the industry. With famous names like herself, Ogami Rika, also those who join, get top-tier equipment and full support. Surprised, Sora praises Kanazaki's knowledge. Kanazaki reveals she is promised to the son of Poover's CEO, a decision made by her own father. Sora reacts surprised and shocked, trying to understand the situation. Despite his astonishment, he acknowledges Poover is indeed a big company and begins to consider learning more about the contract. He also reflects, somewhat incredulous, that arranged marriages still exist, especially for someone like Kanazaki, daughter of a powerful corporation. Kanazaki appears suddenly and somberly, carrying a briefcase that scares Sora. Opening it, she reveals the contents. Strange objects, including something that looks like a powerful artifact. The atmosphere changes abruptly, and Sora reacts surprised and nervous at Kanazaki's sinister behavior and expression. Kanazaki explains she developed an aerial drone in partnership with a local factory, using the recipe of an app she created, without her father's company's involvement. The drone can automatically track Sora during dungeon streams, but she admits dodging attacks was still difficult. Now, with the borrowed cursed item, she intends to improve the drone to predict impacts a few seconds ahead and dodge automatically, increasing safety in the streams. Sora is impressed by the drone and jokes that now he won't worry about his hairline showing on the live. He thanks her, saying the streams will improve a lot. Even surprised by such dedication, he asks why Kanazaki is doing all this for him. She, a little shy, says she always had an interest in drone development and took the chance to test it. Finally, thinking to herself, she admits she should be the one thanking him. Kanazaki recalls her lonely childhood, where everyone around her saw her only as the daughter of a big corporation. Being unsociable and having difficulty expressing emotions, she never had friends. But then she remembers Sora, the only person who treated her as an equal, with no interests or ulterior motives. For her, he was different from all the others. Kanazaki remembers being saved by Sora, and since then wanting to repay him somehow. Despite feeling inferior compared to Poover's potential to attract audiences and produce content, she recognizes the value her father saw in Sora was real. Even with doubts, Kanazaki silently affirms she has her own will. She wants to act on her own, not by others' imposition. Kanazaki reveals the only time she disobeyed her father was to study at the same school as Sora. Tired of living only by orders, she admits that even recognizing her father's power, she feels she could face him if she is by Sora's side. Although thinking she's asking something selfish and unrewarded, she declares firmly and emotionally, "Sora, you will." Hearing Kanazaki's unexpected proposal to join the streaming company she intends to create, Sora responds without hesitation, with a confident and sincere smile. Of course, accepting enthusiastically and without doubt. Even being reprimanded for accepting so quickly, Sora justifies himself sincerely. He recognizes he should think more, but stresses that he wants to help Kanazaki fulfill her dreams. After all, she helped him with the streams, and thanks to that, he went viral. For him, returning that support is a reason for happiness. Kanazaki, moved by Sora's words, thanks him sincerely. She then asks something personal, that he stop calling her Kanazaki and start using her first name, Sakuya. She explains that in the business world, Kanazaki directly refers to her father, and she wants to be seen as someone independent. Sora, however, firmly and jokingly refuses, saying no way, keeping the light tone between them. Sora, visibly embarrassed, tries to refuse calling Kanazaki by her first name, saying it would be embarrassing since he is an introvert and an Onmioji fan for over 1,000 years. Kanazaki is surprised by this absurd statement, while he realizes he said too much and tries to cover it up. She, however, tries to ease the situation by saying that if he feels embarrassed, they can continue as they are at school. Sora, completely embarrassed, finally gathers courage and calls Kanazaki by her first name, Sakuya. The impact hits Sakuya like a cosmic shock, making her heart race as she enters a silent ecstasy state. Even so, trying to act naturally, she quickly changes the subject and asks about the company name, pretending everything is under control. Sora, still tense about the situation, receives a suspicious email and begins to question its authenticity. He looks at the phone and reads, "My husband was devoured by a giant anteater in a dungeon. Receive 1 billion yen inheritance." Obviously suspicious, he quickly concludes it's a scam, showing the email to Sakuya while warning, "This is a scam." Rika Ogami lived a normal and happy life with her family, kind parents, a mischievous but close little brother, and a dog named Marone. But now, looking at her old house, she wonders, how did I end up becoming a dungeon streamer? Rika started dungeon streaming just because it was popular. Over time, she gained some fame and was called by an agency, even with contract demands. Like view quotas and almost daily streams, she still felt that world had nothing to do with her, until the day her father became a guarantor for someone who disappeared, leaving a huge debt behind. Rika decided to accept the agency's invitation determined, saying she wanted to be a professional streamer. She knew she had to attract more audience, increase subscribers, and generate income, all to pay the debts her father assumed as guarantor and ease her sick mother's burden, who worked non-stop. Rika started her new phase as a streamer with hesitation, but was soon welcomed by a kind team. They even prepared cute outfits for her to wear, motivating her to work hard and have fun. Although her dungeon battles were difficult, she kept up her spirits. During this period, she discovered her sponsor, Dream Group, was a famous weapons company, and even got to meet the CEO personally. The CEO showed interest in supporting Rika after learning about her. As support, he provided the most modern weapons, allowing her to safely face the upper dungeon floors, increasing her channel's subscribers. Rika was excited by the support, but despite improved performance, the audience quickly started losing interest. Rika realizes that the audience tends to prefer more experienced and skilled streamers, who explore the dungeon's more dangerous floors with impressive techniques. Despite this, she still keeps the view count goal, but feels pressure from superiors, who don't say anything directly but are clearly dissatisfied with her current performance. While seeking inspiration, Rika decided to explore the dungeon's deeper floors, betting that a quick fight and a dramatic escape would bring excitement to her live. However, monsters at that level were much more violent than she expected, and the result ended up being totally unexpected. Rika remembers that if Sora hadn't appeared at that moment, she probably would have died. But thanks to his presence and his huge popularity, her subscriber count also increased. She recognizes Sora's special talent, believing he will become a great streamer. Despite her family's concern for her safety and pressure to retire, Rika doesn't want to waste the chance to grow even more. She believes joining Poover would also be a great opportunity for Sora, with possibilities for collaborations and a lot of guaranteed buzz. Rika receives a call and is shocked by the outcome, becoming completely disoriented. While trying to process, the situation is treated coldly on the other side. At the same time, a drone calmly flies over the entrance of the Roppongi dungeon, indicating something is about to unfold there. Sakuya arrives with the drone flying above her, bringing a serious and determined posture. Sora, excited by the equipment's presence, shows childlike enthusiasm observing the technology's operation, completely enchanted by what he sees. The difference in their attitudes highlights their personality contrasts. Sakuya calmly explains the drone's technical details, emphasizing camera quality and battery efficiency. Sora, realizing how much it must have cost, goes pale and is shocked. Despite his reaction, she continues acting naturally, approaching to adjust the microphone on her clothes, reassuring him she will handle the costs. Sakuya informs she advanced the business plans and reveals she easily got her father's approval, something she thought would be the biggest obstacle. Sora celebrates excitedly, not noticing the discomfort behind the situation. Deep down, Sakuya knows her father only accepted because he saw profit potential in Sora and plans to use the company as a tool for his own benefit. Sakuya maintains a facade of freedom in front of her father, but feels frustrated inside for still depending on his company's technology for dungeon streaming. Even so, she believes that by founding the new company with Sora, she can finally control her own path. Meanwhile, Sora, amazed by the grandeur of the Kanzaki group, realizes too late that he got involved in something much bigger than he imagined. Sakuya looks at Sora with a slight smile, feeling embraced by the lightness and confidence he transmits even in the hardest situations. While he keeps his good humor and optimism, Sakuya perceives how much this carefree attitude calms her. Soon after, the two are approached by Dungeon Management Department staff, indicating something official is about to happen. Sora and Sakuya receive instructions from the Dungeon Management Department team about entering the location. Despite the practicality of the digital system, one of the employees comments he prefers handwritten forms. He also warns about the recent increase in accidents, recommending caution. Sakuya listens carefully and responds calmly, ready to act responsibly. Sakuya decides not to enter the dungeon to avoid interfering, handing headphones to Sora to keep contact during the exploration. She says she will stay outside, providing support to the stream. Sora is surprised by her attitude, but Sakuya encourages him to focus on his skills and capture good footage for the stream. Sora says goodbye excitedly and enters the dungeon with the drone accompanying him. Meanwhile, Sakuya walks through the building with a discouraged expression, entering through the administrative area's back door, where an employee recognizes her and scolds her for being in the wrong place. Sakuya settles at a desk with her computer, focused on coordinating the stream. While the employee leaves her comfortable, she takes control of the drone, adjusts audio and video, and starts monitoring public comments closely. Determined, she promises to act quickly against anything that may negatively affect Sora. While Sakuya keeps focused on the rear, operating the computer precisely, she declares herself ready for battle in her own way. An employee brings tea, reinforcing the supportive atmosphere. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon, Sora energetically introduces himself to the viewers, starting his Onmioji live stream. Sora begins the live enthusiastically, thanking viewers for their presence and explaining that stream quality improved thanks to a new drone. The public comments react positively, noting the difference in image and camera angle. He reveals the drone was a gift from a friend, increasing viewers' curiosity even more. Sora, seeking an ideal destination for his high-quality stream, decides to use a divination technique based on star charts. Meanwhile, his partner works seriously on technical support, blocking inappropriate chat comments. He explains the divination uses celestial movements combined with magical energy to predict luck and indicate which dungeon to explore first. Sora chooses to explore an area marked by both luck and misfortune, explaining that unpredictability makes the experience more fun. Even with suggestions to avoid the unlucky area, he prefers the challenge, believing he can overcome any obstacle. Confident, he moves forward into the dungeon's interior. Sora starts exploring the Roppongi dungeon and soon encounters a monster. He gets excited by the sudden action, attracting public attention with his energetic reaction. As he advances, he notices Katsu is also there, confirming rumors about increased monster activity were true. While monitoring the live, Sakuya is surprised by Sora's comments and thoughts, which seem distracted. Even so, she notices the public insists he perform a new divination reading using the cursed star technique, which excites Sora as he sees continued interest. Sora activates one of his subtlest Onmioji techniques to try to predict which of two dungeon paths to take. He concentrates on his reading and carefully observes environmental signs. After the divination, he points in one direction, stating something will happen there, though without many details. Sora finds another cursed item during his exploration. Confident, he states that if it's dangerous, he'll handle it himself. As he advances through the dungeon, he warns viewers about the risks of knowing too much through divination. Despite the depth they reach, they find almost no enemies, which begins to cause suspicion. Sora realizes there is no cursed item there, but something much more dangerous. Approaching a huge door, he understands an extremely strong monster is nearby, keeping anyone away. Sora watches excitedly, comparing the situation to a video game dungeon boss. But the mood changes when Sakuya, visibly worried, warns that facing an irregular creature in the depths without preparation is extremely dangerous, even for him. Despite danger warnings, Sora decides to continue, saying they've come too far. With a confident smile, he activates his technique and forces open the door, saying he'll just take a quick look. Sora advances with curiosity upon seeing an imposing figure in the room's center. Before him, a colossal knight silently stares, exuding a threatening presence. Even with the tense scene, Sora approaches naturally, unaware of the real danger.